Okay, YouTube. Good morning, everyone. We're a little bit over a week away for our largest protest of the year and our second protest. We are hosting a national protest. That means each state, we're asking to have a protest at same day, central location at 11 a.m. We in Ohio will be hosting our protest and the national protest, like I just said, on May 17th at 11 a.m. in Ohio. We'll meet at the corner of South High and State Street. Harold, try to get a ride down to our protest a week from Friday, 11 a.m. if you can. Bring all your friends with you. This protest is very vital, and it is in many other states as well. In Ohio, we're protesting a couple of different areas. One is unfair parole practices and support of our proposal, soon to be bill, that we already have a sponsor for in the House, as well as unfair treatment of inmates. That would be all inmates involved in the state penal institution. But the one that we're hosting in Ohio and other states, please listen. It will be at 11 a.m. on May 17th on the corner of South High and State Street. And if you live in another state, please host it the same day, the same time, in a central location in your state. It could be a local state house. It could be another central location, preferably someplace that is fairly easy to get to for people so that you could have a good turnout. We've been promoting this for over 6 months now. And in Ohio, I believe we're going to have a great turnout. Hey, Gina, post your new group down if you can under the video later so people know about the inmate blog if you can. Hi, Lori. I hope you're doing better today. But this protest is vital for the well-being of our folks that are aging inside the prison system, as well as the juveniles that are sentenced as juveniles into life sentences for the most part. Some of them have been in 27, 28 years on 10 to life, 15 to life. Some of them don't see the parole board for many more years. But if this bill would pass, our folks that are juveniles would be brought back up to the parole board within 6 months of their sentence. 6 months after the passage of this bill. It also would find a way for a big portion of our parole people, our inmates that have to see the parole board, find a release. Of course, it won't help everyone. It will only help those that actually have stayed out of trouble. If they have picked up new cases such as murder, rape, assault, and they won't get a parole. And you could always obtain a copy of our proposal if you go to our website at www.fairtreatmentreformandreentry.org. You could download our proposal, a survey that needs to be sent to those that have already seen the parole board who is incarcerated, but they have to mail it back in. We cannot accept it from family members. If they send it back in, we know we have their consent. There's also a section on there that they could put their name on it, or if they want to be anonymous, they don't have to put their name down. And Candace did a well job putting that together. Beverly Seymour is the author of our proposal. It seems to me we have the support so far. We have not heard anything negative from any of the legislators or anybody that has actually looked at our soon-to-be bill. Now, it's in the bill room right now, which means they're going to draft it up in legislative form. I'm not sure if it gets a House number at that point or not. I'm going to find out, and I'll find out the status. Myself or Candace will find out the status next week sometime to see if it's already out of the bill room. But they're supposed to email us a copy of it so that all of our board members can view it to see if we okay it or if we don't. If they took anything out that is vital in there, we're not going to okay it. I could care less how many pro board members sit on the pro board. To me, that's minor. But there's so many things in there that we need. One is no more than 1 2 year continuance. When the judge sentences you to 10 to life, 15 to life, or even 6 to 25, which is not many people that's still doing that under the old law. The intent was for them to be released at the first parole hearing as long as their conduct proves that they deserve it. For those of you that don't understand or really don't know about the two different laws in Ohio, in 1996, well, it was actually passed in 1995, the Truth in Sentencing Law, which was supposed to get tougher on crime. That's when the nation was in an uproar about all the crime that was taking place. So the Ohio Senate and the Ohio House passed Senate Bill 2, Truth in Sentencing, which took effect, I believe, July 1st of 1996. That means everybody sentenced after that date, except lifers now, would get flat time. And they were doing half or more than half the time than those sentenced after 1996. So, so how is that actually tougher on crime when they were doing less time for the same crime than those sentenced before 1996? We still have some of those legislators in office because they go back and forth from the House to the Senate. I met with one senator last year, it might have been 2 years now, about trying to combine the two laws. He said, I'm really scared to do that because then you're releasing the most violent of all offenders. But what about those under the new law? He didn't claim that they were violent as well. But no matter what, or no matter how bad their past is, everybody deserves a fair parole hearing. That doesn't mean our board or anybody on our executive board believes that every single person should be paroled. We don't believe that. We believe a big portion of them should. And the conduct has proven it since they have been down. They have taken program after program, every program that is available to them. They've taken them 2, 3, 4 times, just to keep going on the programming. So what happens? They go to the parole board. And the parole board member, after they say a lot of derogatory comments towards our people, they look at them, nature of offense, denial. They didn't even recognize any of their programs that they have taken. And if they start paroling these folks, they're going to save close to $35-36 million a year. It costs around $35,000 for each inmate, but the aging population is costing some of them $100,000 or more per year due to medical bills. So they are releasing people when they're in their 60s, 70s, 80s. They even asked one guy that was 90, what type of job is he going to have upon his release? They paroled him, though. At that age, they might as well have kept him. What nursing home is going to accept someone coming out of prison? I think there's 1 or 2 in the state of Ohio that would accept them. And depending on the crime, they may not even accept them. They're releasing these people homeless. Do you want these people with that's coming out of prison to be homeless, where they have to go back to what they know best to survive? And I get it, and I understand why they do it. It's because we have such a poor system, that does not believe in rehabilitation, does not believe in second chances. For some of you might have seen our governor's idea of parole reform. It's not even close to it. And we do care about the victim. We have compassion about the victim, and our number one goal is no new victims. But when everything is one-sided and the other side doesn't have a fair chance, when we met with the governor's office, I don't know if it was a month or 2 ago, myself and Candace, the legislative aide told us that there would be a former inmate appointed to the board. They have not done it. What did they do? He appointed a prosecutor, a president of council who was a public defender, mind you, a state rep who stepped down, And if you remember what happened with the senator that stepped down, it was a mess. And they are picking career people instead of your ordinary men and women to sit on the parole board. They're picking people that work for the state or politicians. And that's not fair. They said they were not going to pick anybody from the DOC, so they go outside of the DOC and still pick state employees or government employees. That's not going to help our cause. We need to get the average person in. Maybe they don't have a college degree. That's fine, but they could be fair. A former inmate, they understand the system better than most people. Let them on. A victim advocate, fine, as long as we get our advocate. I think they should be represented as well. Maybe a minister, maybe a defense attorney. There's so many other choices they could have made instead of picking it all one-sided. And I think Ohioans are starting to get wise since you guys are footing the bill for these people to be still incarcerated. There are several other bills that are in the works in the state of Ohio, but nothing that's going to be retroactive. And anything that we put our name on it will be retroactive unless it does our people no good. Well, after saying all this, I just want to remind people that May 17th at 11 a.m. on the corner of South High and State Street is our national protest. Other states, please plan it the same day, the same time at your local state house or central location in your state. Let's protest unfair parole practices. Let's support our proposal, soon to be bill. Let's take a stand. Let's protest unfair treatment of inmates. And that would affect the whole population. Let's support fathers' rights. Let's support all these good groups out there that care about our group and support us. We need to support each other for change. And change will never take place if people don't step forward and say, I'm ready to fight. Take off your gloves. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be ashamed. This is your loved one, friend, or maybe it's just your moral values that you believe people should be treated fair. So if you're going to stand with us, we need you there on May 17th, 11 a.m. on the corner of South High and State Street, folks. It starts with you and I for change. Thank you. That's if I could turn this off.